description below and start building your own team right now. It is free to draft your own team, and you can invest however much as you want. It is a place where you can collect player cards and use them in fantasy contests all season long. I've invested $385 worth on this team, and I've already won $280 worth of prizes. I still got 5 months to go, and I just bought this team 2.5 weeks ago. It is a great ROI. I highly recommend this site, not only to win money, but it's also great fun. I watch more baseball because of it, and it is one of the best sites out there. They also have it for NBA and soccer. Basically, you can win player cards all season long, and they also have Ether rewards too. I was inches close to winning about $400 worth of Ether and also a huge player card worth probably around 1K as well. You have big prizes all season long. I highly recommend it. If you ever have any questions at all, at Rubio Dimes, at Run Pure Sports, at any one of us, we will be glad to walk you through the process. Sign up below using our link, and have a great rest of y'all's day. Sign
What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope everybody out there is having a good day so far. We're talking MLB, big boy MLB slate today. 13 games, Coors Field on the slate. Joined by JSU, joined by Mangone. Got to go with the JSU first, though. Not too often do the freeloaders get a little JSU on the YouTube channel. So, JSU, watch your mouth throughout the show so we're not kicked off YouTube. And what's going on this Friday?
Well, if we get kicked off YouTube, we'll just be behind the paywall, I guess, like normal. So, I mean, that'll just be where the show goes. So, hopefully we don't get kicked off YouTube. I'll do my best to, mind myself a little bit and hold my tongue if I can. But I don't know, chat, we'll see. We'll see. Chat, sometimes they get under my skin. I have to let one go title, but I'll try my best here. Good day here. We got some good baseball to get to. We got some nice NBA. I think it's possibly the last two-gamer, depending on how this game goes tonight with the Lakers. We could have one more two-gamer. We'll see. But maybe the last two-gamer of the season. So I'm really excited for hoops. I can't wait for baseball. It looks like we got an awesome slate with awesome hitting weather in some spots. Some nice totals that we'll talk about here. But, good to be on with you boys. Maybe get your hoops takes, too, as we go through the show. Maybe we'll get some hoops takes from you guys. And, Title, you just recorded the MMA show, which I haven't watched yet. But I will at some point get to it today because we got a nice little card tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll admit it's not the best DFS card. We had 12 fights. We lost one this morning, so 11 fights is never fun. It is in front of a live crowd, though. We're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Always better in front of a crowd. It starts early, noon Eastern tomorrow, 9 a.m. over here. So there could be overlay. There definitely could be overlay in the morning. So check on that. It's always fun watching fights on my screen. Problem is, JSU, only you and I can talk MMA because, Mangone, I'm not even going to mention anything MMA to you. I'm going to throw a whole different subject because you're just
overlay. You might be talking my language. I might have to dive in there early in the morning.
Mangone, I was just going to say, I was like, you actually started talking Mangone's language with the overlay. I mean, you might get him.
Might be
first of all, you have to be awake by that time, Mangone, and then, you should check the lobby. I wouldn't be surprised if there was in the 15 tomorrow.
Yeah, one of the problems is I kind of have to prepare for MMA overlay too because I can't. It's definitely hard for me to dive in there. I definitely pull the playbook up right away and I start looking. I'm like, okay, what are the inside the distance ones? That's where I start. What are the fights that are going to end early? And I try to dig through really quick. So we'll have to see. I'll be up. Don't worry. I'll make sure I am. But what were you going to segue to besides MMA before I cut you off, Title?
I don't know. I was just going to think of something so you weren't just going to chirp MMA for 10 minutes. So we talked overlay. How's your Friday going, man? How was the gym this morning?
The gym was good.
Did you hit the sauna?
I skipped on the sauna because my ankle's still struggling a bit. So I was working in on the treadmill a little bit. So it's
What's
better.
What's wrong with getting that ankle in the sauna?
Yeah. What
do you
I I've done that, but I've also there's other things I like to do. So I hadn't been on the treadmill in a little while. I said doing some work on the treadmill could help it. So yeah.
Is your ankle still bothering you? This was an injury like before the Big T house party. This was an injury.
So I reheard it like April, like 2nd or 3rd, like early April, the same exact one, and it was like painful. It was definitely like I felt like the pain, and I was like, this is terrible. So it's like I'm being very cautious coming back. So because I don't want it to be like a lifetime thing. You know, you hear these people like, oh, I got like a knee injury forever. Like I don't want one of those. So
Mangone, literally come hang out for a week over at my gym. We'll get you right. We'll get you right. You can work out with me for a week. We'll get you on the right path.
Yeah, hey, listen, that does sound appealing. One day I got to get in the JSU gym with him and work out. That'd be a lot of fun. But I can mention the Boston Celtics. They're not dead yet. Let's at least say that. You know, everyone wanted to bury them and say that they're gone. Like it's not over yet. So I'm excited. The Celtics are still alive. I'm rooting on the Lakers tonight, and I hope the Heat can get the job done tonight too. I'm with JSU. It sounds like he's on the Heat and the Lakers tonight. So are you on the Warriors, JSU? Which
the
side?
Lakers, baby. This is where we close them out here, Mangone. This is it.
You know, arm in arm on that. So you love to see that. So I'll be backing those teams tonight. So sounds like me and JSU are aligned, and it could be a really fun. I mean, the Eastern Conference Finals looks like it's going to be a lot of fun, especially with the Celtics or the Sixers. We'll at least be fair, not looking like powerhouse teams. And watching Jimmy try and slay him will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Jimmy's been on one for sure. I'm on the Heat, but I'm on the Warriors tonight. And I want the Lakers. I don't want the Warriors, but I think they do get it done tonight. Speaking of, Big T, double main event this week, please. Big T, unfortunately, it's not. But, hey, put your nuts on the table one time, Big T, and play me. I don't even know if I'll stack a fight this week in cash. It's a bad main event. Big T, one time, put your nuts on the table and let's go at it. There's no double main event. You got home. You got Denver home. You've been taking my cheese recently, Big T. Slide in, no double main event, but I want my money back.
Title, I got a question. How bad does it hurt when he puts that PayPal thing up on Twitter? Like, how bad does that kill your pride when he puts that would hurt me. I'll tell you right now. Just pride-wise, it would hurt me.
I just go on Venmo, you click Big T, you see transactions between you, and you just scroll and see more green than red. So you're that. Yeah, come on, Big T.
I do like that you told him to put his nuts on the table, though, Big T. Get in there. I love it.
Don't be scared, Big T.
Stop playing scared.
Yeah, let him know, man. Come on, JSU.
Listen, I'm all for anyone calling out Big T because no one is better in the master of calling people to go against people like Big T is with everyone else. So I'm in. Get him. He needs to play Drew in golf. And if you don't know, Drew's like a pro golfer. He needs to not back down and play Drew in golf like he said, and then started to back down on the golf show a couple days ago. It needs to get in there and play you head to head. In and in. I want to see it.
That means Big T says he's in. We're confirmed, Big T. I got my $5 up already on DK. You take it right now before you don't forget. Our 3K is locked in like usual. We are in. He's not in for Drew. He's in for me, though, tomorrow. So thank you. We're in. I'm getting my cheese back, Big T. And if I don't, well, you guys will know because I'll probably be back up on Twitter with a clip or something like that.
Oh, no. We'll definitely know after this.
Yeah. And if you don't hear a word, that means I got Big T. All right, Big T's in. 3K. Take my game right now, Big T. Who else we got in the YouTube chat before we go talk about this big boy slate? Jacob Stubbs in here. Riley Golf Pro. Punisher, Lycan, Gator Nation. Jake Burton's in here. William. Richie Smalls. Bobby Gomes. Derek. Al's in here. Phil's in here. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Bill Miner in here as well. All we ask from you is the like button and a big red subscribe button once you do hit it too. JSU's on the free show today. Usually he is on the premium show, but you got Holden, DC, and Steve breaking down the baseball slate on the premium show. Do need to be a member for that, though. Use the promo code Mangone15. Get 15% off. All the NBA content will be up behind the paywall as well. I think it is already up. Core plays from JSU, Big T as well. And then baseball. We got MMA tomorrow. Golf Showdown. Snyder's always doing it. NASCAR is going on. Bunch of sports. A lot of money to be made. No better time to join. All sports, one price. Mangone 15% off. Real King's in here. Trevor Bryan. Stever's in here. Again, appreciate all of you hanging out with us. We'll talk baseball, though. 13-game slate. It's a big one, so we'll get right into it. JSU, I'll start with you at pitching today. Definitely, we're going to go 8K and up. because there are a lot of pitchers. There's pitchers up top that are interesting. There's pitchers down low I think you can get to. All I'm going to say is Corbin Burns, he is definitely going to be the chalk today, 9.2K. When you look at like Spencer Strider, 3K more at 12.2. What are you doing with chalk Corbin Burns? We do have Coors Field on the slate as well. 8K and above, what you see at pitcher, JSU.
Yeah, I'll start with Corbin Burns because Corbin Burns is a guy that I've faded this entire year. Like he had the one big game against Arizona. Outside of that, I've been fine. And now he's going to be the most popular play on the slate. And I kind of get it. Like they finally priced the two real studs on this slate like they're the real studs, right?
About time.
Yeah.
Took them like 3 months or whatever it's been.
I mean, you know it though, right? They start off slow with the pricing title, right? They're trying to get people in. They go easy on the pricing. Now we've had, a little bit of time in this MLB season. They're going to start to tighten this thing up, and you're seeing it with these pitchers, right? So you got Strider and Cole right at 12K and 12.2. And I mean, I'm not saying they're not going to get ownership, but let's be honest, right? There's, something to do with their upside, but also the price tags. And when you look at Corbin Burns at 9.2 and you go all the way up to those guys, 3K more, that's going to pull more ownership to Corbin Burns just naturally. And for me, I don't know about you, but I just don't get it. Like he's not shown that consistent upside for me at 9.2 on a slate where it's a massive slate. For me to play him as chalk, I'm just not going to do it. The strikeouts, they just haven't been there for a 9K plus pitcher that I want. I mean, he's had 5, 5, 5, 3, and 8, like his last 5. That's fine. I mean, 8 would be fine, but he's consistently not giving it to me this year with the strikeouts. And that's what I want if I'm paying for these upper, like these stars, 9K up. I want strikeouts. I want a dude who can go out there and he can get me 10 strikeouts and the win and all that stuff. And you get the bonuses and whatever. Like Cole, Strider, they can do that in any matchup. Now, I'll get to them in a second. But if Corbin Burns is really going to be, I don't know, 35, what do you guys think? 35, 40% or somewhere in that range, which I think he gets to even on this massive slate because people they'll see those 12K price tags and they'll that's going to scare them a little bit to pay that, even though there's going to be so many cheap bats because there's just so many games and so many good spots for hitting that I don't even understand that as the reason why people might stay away. But I know for a fact people would just see those price tags and say, I can't pay 12K for a pitcher. Like I'm just going to move to the next guy. And so for me, it makes me kind of want to play one of those 12K guys. And I'm definitely not. My first fade of the night is definitely going to be Corbin Burns. I'm not playing him at 9.2 chalk. I actually like all 3 of the guys above him more than him anyways. Sonny Gray, I like. Wind's blowing in. 10K. He's at least flashed upside. And I know the big thing with him is always like, will they let him go? But they have. You've seen it. He's went 7 innings. They keep him in like the 90-ish pitch range. They let him go over that mark once, and that was against the Yankees. He went 107. But even then, like at least he can give me 7, 8 strikeouts. He's gotten 13 in one game. Like at least he has that in him where I could get myself a 30-point game from him. Same thing with like Cole and Strider. The one guy I'm probably lower on out of the 3 that I'm going to talk about is Cole, just because I mean, it's a good spot in New York for hitting. Tampa Bay, their bats have been really good this year. I like Tampa Bay as a team. They've already gotten to Cole once in Tampa. That was the last game Cole pitched. Gave up 2 home runs, 5 earned. Cole's still going to get strikeouts, though. The one thing we know about Cole, the dude's going to he's going to still get Ks. But the other thing we know about Cole is he can give up bombs. Like he can definitely give up some bombs here. That's what happened against Tampa. Tampa's been solid. I'm probably going to go Strider and Gray as my top 2 pitchers at the top range. Spencer Strider to me is just, he's got the like elite upside. Like him and Cole have the elite upside. I want one of those 2 guys. I want to play one of those 2 guys with the elite upside where they could go, and get me 10, 12 Ks. Like they have that for sure. So I'm going to lean Strider here. That's going to be my top pitcher if I got to play one of those 12K guys. And Sonny Gray. Those are my two guys at the top in the 9K range. And I'm not playing I'm probably not going to play Smiley or anything like that. I'm not playing him at 9-1. Can't pay that. And Corbin Burns. So that's how I see this top tier range.
Good breakdown. Yeah. People aren't going to go to the 12K range. They're going to drop down below. Mangone, what are your thoughts? You going to go up to the 12K range? And of course, Strider is not going to be 4% or 5%, but compared to Corbin Burns, he's definitely a third of the ownership, something like that maybe.
Title, I got a question for you guys, you and Mangone. What would his ownership be if he was 10-5?
Probably 30%.
Like 50% at least.
Double what he will come in at is what you're telling me.
More than double, probably.
Yeah, this is my point on the whole thing. And it's like, if he gives you the massive game that he has, you're going to still want him at 12. Like, if he gives you that ceiling, you're going to want that 12K pitcher is my point. And you're getting an ownership discount on him. And we have cheap bats to play. So that's the interesting part on this slate. I want to see where Mangone is thinking here at the top tier, because I can't imagine he's going to fade both of these top guys.
Mangone, does he know you? Does he know you as well as he thinks he knows you?
I think so. But are we doing 8K and above or 9K above? Just
8K and above.
Okay, so actually, one interesting thing about this slate, and sometimes I go off on a tangent, but I promise this is important. But like, I just sorted by the 5-man Philly stacks. That's all I sorted by, just to see what on earth does the optimizer do, right? Just because I'm curious. When you play 5-man Philly stacks, you have no chance of getting Spencer Strider, Garrett Cole, and these top-end pitchers. So these are my favorite kind of slates. I like the slates where you have a decision to make. Are you going to get the stud pitchers, or are you taking Coors Field? Those are the slates that I like because they just can't all go together, right? It's like you just can't play everything. I absolutely love those slates because a decision has to be made. For me, if I'm deciding between Coors Field, first time out there against Austin Gomber, and Austin Gomber is not someone I'm scared of at all, and the Phillies offense is definitely one that can hit some bombs, I'm going with the pitcher route because I like when I can just go grab my top-end pitchers and bet on some other cheaper offenses instead. So I'm going to go up for some of these pitchers. I think if I had to rank them, I think Spencer Strider is number one for me, for sure. I mean, he's been the best pitcher, arguably, in the league, right? It's hard to argue with what he's been doing. So I'd say Strider is number one for me, but he is hard to get up to. I'd say number two is going to be Sonny Gray. I kind of agree with a lot of what JSU said. Sonny Gray, 10K, pretty good pitching option. Gets to go with the wind blowing in against the Chicago Cubs team that I'm not too scared of. Let me see what that starting lineup is, because I know sometimes they can do some different kind of stuff with it. Yeah, it's nothing I'm like absolutely scared of or anything. So I like the Sonny Gray route. I think that's a really interesting play. I'm not super high on Corbin Burns. I think he's fine, but my take on Corbin Burns would be, if you play him, make sure you play him in some like unique setups, right? Because he's going to be the highest owned pitcher. Don't just sit and play him with the Philadelphia Phillies. I noticed when you play the Phillies, you grab Corbin Burns, right? Because that's the first ace you can get. So a popular route will be grabbing Burns and grabbing the Phillies offense today. It's just plain and simple. And that's not something I'm just going to end up doing. I'm going to stay away from doing that route. So I will likely be under on Corbin Burns. My single entry stuff, I probably won't have him. I'll probably be picking between one of the three at the top that we just talked about, Strider, Gray, and Cole. And there's a chance I grab two of them. Now, the reason why I say there's a chance I grab two of them, there's other pitchers that we can talk about. And Crew actually brought up the guy I want to talk about in the chat. I'll put it on the screen. It's Martin Perez. Martin Perez had a pretty bad game where he got blown up last time out, right? Like, he got absolutely destroyed, -8. It wasn't good. No one's going to want to go back to him. But Martin Perez, for that 8.3K price tag, has been pretty solid all year long. Now, the strikeouts is what you worry about at times, but Oakland can strike out a bunch. Yes, they can hit bombs right between some of these guys, but I think Martin Perez is in play today at 8.3K and could make as an interesting SP2 option. But for me, Spencer Strider is clearly number one. When I build my teams, it's going to start with Spencer Strider. And then, like, as you kind of build out your teams and look at them, or let's say I'm looking at teams while using SaberSim, if I'm struggling with the bats with the Spencer Strider route, then I'll say, okay, I need to try and get in some Garrett Cole and see what that looks like, or some Sonny Gray and see how that looks, because I am not getting a lot of Spencer Strider right now, but I would like to prioritize him. But I think the savings to Sonny Gray could be worth it. And his differentiation at the ownership off of Corbin Burns, I think is really worth it. So that's kind of the way I'd rank him. Strider number 1, Gray number 2, number 3 would be Garrett Cole. He's going against the Rays, right? The Rays are a really good team. I know I haven't touched on it a ton, but do I want to target the Rays? Not exactly. You know what I mean? If I get some Garrett Cole, great. He's got a ton of upside and he's worth taking a shot on, but I just prefer it in that order. And then I'd probably put Perez at 4 and then Corbin Burns 5 for the guys above the 8K range. And if I played Corbin Burns, I'd make sure I'm not playing it with a bunch of chalk, right? I'd find ways to make it different because he is that SP1 that everyone's gravitating towards today.
Yep, great breakdown. Above 8K, there's multiple guys. Talk about Striders, Cole, there's Sonny Gray, Corbin Burns. Very good up there. Now we're going to go below 8K. I'll start with you, JSU. JP Francis is someone that 2 people have mentioned. Any thoughts on him? And man, I mean, these names below 8K are not nearly as appealing as the people above 8K, but we do have Coors Field. We do have some other good spots for bats if you want to pay up. Anybody below 8K you're looking at, or are you just going to be double spending?
So I didn't really talk much about the 8K guys, but I will say, like, just to add on to
talk about all of it.
Yeah, just to add on, because I just for some reason didn't talk about these guys, but I don't mind Martin Perez. Mangone was talking him up in Oakland, 8,300. Same issue with him that I have. Like, the upside is rarely there, but he's 8.3. He's not like 9.2. You know what I mean? So the price gap, in that, I can take some shots if I want to. It's funny.
Jason, you know how he makes more sense? He makes sense when, like, you're building out your team and you play one of those stud pitchers, but, like, you have a cheaper offense. Like, you don't have to go all the way down to one of these 6K pitchers. Like, it's clearly wise Perez over, like, the other cheap ones that we'll discuss. It's more of like a guy that you kind of fall on, and you're prioritizing your top starting pitcher and then your 5-man stack, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and I kind of feel that way too about, and I hate this guy. I hate playing Blake Snell, but I feel the same way about Blake Snell, kind of in a way where it's like he feels like kind of like Martin Perez in a way where they're just kind of safe-ish. Like they're not going to give you the ultimate big performances, but at 8-1, you might just fall on them and be like, okay, if they give me 15 or 20 or something, like, I'm just taking it. I'll take it, find a way with my bats to make it work. Because the more we go past this 8K range, the grosser it gets. And like someone was bringing up JP France, I'm not going to take a shot on him. I don't know a ton about him. I didn't get to watch his first start. Obviously, he had 5 Ks. He only gave up 3 hits, 1 walk. I want to kind of hear if you guys have a take on him. I don't really have much of a take because I haven't really seen him that much. But 7.6, massive price bump, right? He was 5.2 last slate. He got bumped to 7.6. I don't know. It feels like a slate, though, where I'm going to take more shots with my stacks and my bats. I don't need to take too many shots with the pitchers. I think Blake Snell and Martin Perez are like kind of safe pitchers that I don't mind just taking as my SP2 and moving on with on a slate like this, where, like I said, there's just, because there's so many games, there's just going to be so many options for us to go from. And I don't want to spread myself out too much at pitcher. That's one thing on these massive slates when honestly, there's not that many like options after this point. Why are you spreading yourself out at pitchers? It would be my question. Like, try and tighten it up there, spread yourself out more with the bats.
Yeah, JP Frank, I don't know too much about him. He decent K prop, 4.5, a little juice on the over. It's not too warm. It's only like 60 degrees in Chicago. And the bottom half of that White Sox order isn't very good. So that's probably what's sticking out to some people. Mangone, 2 names for you, Ken Waldichuk and Tyler Anderson. I think if people do go all the way down, I think those 2 probably get majority of the ownership. 8K and below, and touch on those 2.
Yeah, let's start with Ken here. Just because I think he is going to get some of the ownership of the cheap one. He's got a 5.5 strikeout prop. going up against Texas in Oakland. I think he's fine, but like for me, I just want to fade the Coors Field, and it's rare I can just go grab my double pitchers and like not have to worry about Coors, because if I'm right about my double pitchers, right, that's obviously going to help eliminate Coors Field a little bit. So that's kind of why I'm not as excited to dive down into this lower 6K range. But I think he's fine. And this Texas offense, it's been basically bad since Corey Seager's kind of been out of the lineup. Yeah, they've had their moments, but they haven't been that great. And then I think, who's the other guy? I said Tyler Anderson. Yeah, going against Cleveland. Cleveland's not great. He has a very low strikeout prop, though, around like 3.5. It's juiced on the over, but I'm not super excited about Anderson. If I had to pick other guys down here, I would take a chance on. I think I'd take a chance on like a Kyle Bradish against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pittsburgh has not been that great of an offense. It is in Baltimore. Baltimore, not known as like a hitter's park now. And I think Bradish could definitely take advantage of this team enough. But again, I don't see this as a slate where I'm going to go cheap for pitcher. I've already put a pretty big pitching pool up on my single entry 3 max. And I kind of did it intentionally because I was like, man, all these guys project pretty well. Like there's a lot of them. And the more I'm like, I wanted to kind of talk it through on the show and hear your guys' thoughts. And the more I talked it through, it's like, it just feels obvious to me that I want to spend up at my pitcher. And like, not saying I'm just going to completely eliminate these cheap guys from my pool, but I think it's good. Like one thing I just went through and ran, which we'll talk about when we kind of get to bats, is I ran locking in Sonny Gray and Spencer Strider rather than Garrett Cole, because it's just, that's squeezing a lot of salary. I figured let's go to Sonny Gray instead, and then see what bats I can get along the way, right? Which 5-man stacks hit and which ones don't. And like, I can still get some 5-man Phillies. They're not impressive, I'll say that. But my point being is there are some other good offenses that I'm seeing besides the Phillies that I like that I want to talk about. Like there's one game in particular that we'll get to later that I think you can easily make work. So I like this double pitcher spend up route, and I am definitely going to be pretty much off these cheap pitching options. If I had to pick, it'd probably be going Bradish just for like the lower ownership guy, but I don't really have a strong take on these cheap guys. I just think it's the wrong slate to punt pitcher. I think we've had correct slates to do it. And again, if you think Coors is the correct route, then sure, go for it. Punt the pitcher if you want, but I just don't need to do that on this slate.
The guy I like in a different spot. It's got good hitting weather in Washington. Mackenzie Gore's been awesome. I want to like him, but I don't really like the spot for him today. He's a pitcher I normally am pretty high on. I like his stuff. He's looked really good this year, but I probably won't pay for him today. And I agree with Mangone. Like as you come down past that, like Waldichuk, I'm not playing Waldichuk here at 6K. I won't do that. I think Anderson actually would be the one play I would go to if I had to pick one. Like if you made me pick one down in the cheap range, he's 5.5. Yeah, the K prop's not great, juiced on the over, like Mangone said, but he could get you, he could get you 12 points, 15 points, and you definitely live with that on this slate. So Cleveland's not that good. I don't mind him, I guess, but outside of that, Oviedo's been terrible. I mean, Bradish, like, man, I've tried to make him work a couple times. Like, he's just not good, or he's just not been good. He's had one decent game. Just he always seems like, even when his stuff is good for like an inning or two, and then he just has that bad one and he gives it up, and it's just annoying. Like it drives me nuts because I've tried to make him work and it hasn't worked out for me. So I'm probably off the Bradish train. I'm sure that means he's gonna give you probably a decent game, but he is 6'6". If you're trying to go cheap at pitcher, I mean, there's not many great options here. Everyone knows my love for Adam Wainwright, but can't do it in this spot. We'll talk about that spot later. Can't do it here. Not the right matchup. Walker going against Colorado. Yes, Colorado stinks, but it is in Colorado. Walker, outside of the last game against Boston, where he just put a game together, I mean, hasn't been that great. Yeah, this is gross down here. I can't do much down here.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough pitchers above 8K that if you don't like pitchers down below, there's enough cheap bats. 13 games, 26 teams, and some good hitting weather across the country as well. We'll get to some of these games. So you can always find cheap bats. Don't need to force something below 8K if you do not like it. So let's rank them, man. I'll start with you, then I'll go to JSU. Your top 3 pitchers today.
Yeah, top three will be Strider 1, it'll be Gray 2, and then it'll be Cole number 3. So, and if I had to throw the fourth, I'd probably stay away from Burns, and I'd probably go to like a Martin Perez. But again, I don't want to dip into that range. I really want to get up to these top end arms, so I just don't have to play the Phillies. It just kind of like boxes out the route of if the Phillies do well. And if the Phillies drop 12 runs, so be it, right? I'll wake up tomorrow morning and I'll chase that UFC overlay.
Absolutely. And also
there's no shot you're playing UFC tomorrow.
No, he's not.
Like
he's
I give it like a 1% chance you play UFC.
There has to be some fat overlay to do it. But watch him. He's going to build it. He's going to wake up. The overlay is going to be looking nice. He's going to build everything.
If there's overlay, I'm calling you. Yeah, I'm waking you up early in the morning.
I'll be awake. Just if there's overlay, shoot me a call. I might forget.
No, I will. I mean, I'm playing either way. It doesn't matter about overlay, but I'll let you know if there's overlay because I'll be in the streets. I'll be in the streets after last week when Mr. Matt Frivola rolled. Where's my guy Nicky Diesel in chat telling me it's impossible? He said, no, it's impossible. Drew Dober is going to roll him. Nope. Didn't happen, my friend. First round, baby. That was over quick.
Steamroll.
You guys are baiting me into playing MMA. We got Big T telling me I'm not doing something. Big T, I might play MMA and fly to your house tonight and come watch the card with you. I mean, that's how much I might get in there.
I'll tell you right now, if I want someone to come root with me and sweat, Mangone, he roots until the last breath. I mean, I'll tell you right, he could be in last place, and there's one inning left in baseball, one round left in the. He'll still be in front of that TV. Title knows what I'm talking, and he'll still be rooting his guy until it's over. He does not give up.
Do you know what I did last night? I'm watching Jokic shoot the free throws, and my friend's like, "Oh, this game's over." I said, "No, it's not. Madison needs her over to him. We're rooting Jokic home. Needs 2 points, and rooted it home."
Rooted at home. That's what winners do.
Big T, I'm looking at flights right now. I might call your bluff. I have nothing to do. I literally have nothing to do this weekend.
There is zero chance I agree with Big T. No.
I'm looking at flights right now.
JSU, top 4 pitchers.
Top 4 or 3? Are we going 4?
I said 3. Mangone gave a 4, so now you're giving 4.
Okay, I'll give a 4th too. So I'm going, let's see. Strider would be 1. Sonny Gray would be 2. I'm going to go Martin Perez 3. And Blake Snell 4.
I like it. We'll go game by game. Who was it up here, though? He was helping me do my job. Troy Cole, very hurtful. 326 watching. Oh, not even 100 likes yet. Very hurtful indeed. We appreciate it if you do hit that like button. You guys hate listening to it just as much as I hate asking. So click it for us. We'll get you the plays of the day. We always do appreciate it. And again, BC, Stevie Boyd, and Holden taking you up to lock today. The baseball gurus. If you want to know more about France, us 3 didn't know as much about him. They can give you all the history on him. So Mangone 15% off. We're going game by game. JSU, I'll start with you since Mangone claims he's looking at flights. Probably not, but we will see. New York Mets, Washington Nationals, Tyler McGill, Mackenzie Gore on the mound. This is one of the great hitting weathers that we were talking about. 84 degrees. Man, it's nice in Washington. You like Gore, though? Are you going to pick on him? And then any Nats for you?
Yeah, our guy Holden always talks about this park, too, when it gets like hot like this, how it just becomes such a good spot. And my problem with this game is I'm not playing Gore, but I respect him enough to not go against him. So I'm probably going to be off the Mets here. And this will be the theme of the show, right? There's so many good spots weather-wise, and we'll say this about a bunch of other spots. So don't feel like you're pigeonholed in. Like there's so many good hitting weather. You can find other ones. You can find pivots and stuff like that. This one, I think Gore's a solid pitcher. I think even though I'm not going to play him, I think he can do enough to maybe hold the Mets in check just a little bit. And then on the Washington side, probably not going to go here either. But the one thing about Washington is they're cheap. A lot of these guys are really, really cheap. So I don't want to say I won't go here because I could see myself like getting a mini stack of this game. I mean, Meneses is 2,700. That's really, really cheap for him. Dom Smith is 2,100. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think I'm more Washington than I am the Mets just because of these price tags. And some of these guys have been hitting. Like I talked about, Lane Thomas has had some really, really good games. Manessa's starting to come on. Dom Smith's been decent recently. Luis Garcia, he's still cheap, 3,300. Yeah, I think a mini stack from Washington is where I'm going with this game here. Not much on the Mets side, but on Washington, I'll definitely have probably a mini stack.
Mangone, what about you? Good hitting weather.
Yeah, before we get in there, Big T safe. Frontier Airlines. I don't fly them, and it's the only direct flight. So you're lucky.
You was safe even if it was any.
No, he wasn't.
What the hell is Frontier Airlines?
It's a rough airline. You don't want to.
Mangone even digs for the airlines, man. Mangone digs for everything. He finds all these things. I've never even heard of that. Where Frontier Airlines?
I will admit, I flew it because it's been very cheap, and the whole time you're like, please get me there safe. It's not fun.
Big T doesn't know what that is. He only flies first class, JetBlue, American.
There's no way he would fly Frontier or Spirit. Sometimes you still got to be a nit and find the best deals. But every time I get on it, I regret. I've only done it once, and I definitely do regret it. I will say.
Yeah, the only time I ever booked Frontier, I actually missed that flight. So I got the days wrong. So I booked it at like 12:01 a.m. But that's okay. It was meant for me.
You got the days wrong? You booked the wrong day?
Yeah, because I was like Tuesday a.m. and I thought it was like Monday. It was a whole mess or whatever.
You definitely rush everything you do, don't you, Mangone?
If I don't pay attention, I'll space and just
like he watches us on like 1.5x or 2x or whatever. He does. That's how his life is. Like he does everything at that speed.
Yep.
Just too quick for his own good.
I have to slow it down at times, but we can dive into this game. This game's actually super interesting because when I kind of ran, like I said, I ran like the locking Gray and Strider kind of stuff just to see what it does, right? You don't have to do exactly what the opto says, but I kind of use it as a research tool sometimes. And I get a lot of Washington stacks, right? And it's because they're cheap, and I think they fit really well as mini stacks. And I kind of think they're better as the mini stacks. So overall, I don't think I'll get to him as a 5-man. I really don't. It just seems a little bit tougher, but I think as a mini stack, they make some sense. For one, Ruiz is like a solid catcher at 3K, right? That's not a guy I'm going to completely ignore. I think he's definitely worth kind of talking about here on this slate. So don't mind Ruiz on Washington. If you look for other guys to pair within the mini stack, I mean, Lane Thomas in the outfield, he's always solid. If you have to punt first base, it's typically not a position that you really punt, but you could punt it with a 2.7K Joey Meneses. I doubt I'd do it with a Dominic Smith instead. Candelaria at third base, I wouldn't hate him either. So overall, there's options on the Nationals I don't think you want to ignore. Holden talks about this all the time. Holden is in the chat as well. Holden basically says, hey, Washington plays a lot smaller when it's hot there, right? It's 85 degrees and the wind is blowing out. Only 5 miles an hour, but it's hot there. That's really the key. And this ballpark could play smaller, and you could get these Washington guys at a lot cheaper price. So it's worth taking a stab on them. I don't love it as the main stack, like the 5-man. It's popping more than I thought, but I think the mini stack can make a lot of sense, especially if it gets you the double spend up pitchers where it's like, and by double spend up, I don't mean for sure Cole, right? Maybe it's like a Gray in that range and it gets you a Strider. And then what you pair it with is your main 5-man stack. And then it's like a 3-man or 2-man of some really cheap bats on Washington because you're prioritizing those double spend up pitchers and then you're prioritizing your 5-man stack.
Yeah, good breakdown. Big T, imagine being so rich you've never heard of Frontier. I was thinking the same thing, Big T. JSU is too rich. Then Holden, Frontier is $29 seats and charge $70 for a backpack. They do have very cheap flights, but they get you on the secondary stuff. No doubt about that. Frontier put out a deal that it was like, my mom sent me it because obviously I can if I wanted to go fly somewhere I could. You spend $500 and you get a year of free flights, but the catches. The flights you have to book a day or two in advance, and you don't know if they're going to be connecting flights, and it was it was too much of a mess. But to have unlimited flight access for only $500 was kind of appealing. I at least got caught on the clickbait. I'll say that.
I mean, there's always a catch when things are that cheap, right?
Yeah.
There has to be a catch at some point.
Yeah, there's no one's giving away free $500 flights all year round. It'd be absurd.
And Big T, no one believes that I'm richer than you. I mean, you got a hot tub. What are you talking about? I don't have a hot tub, man. Come on.
No, do you want to know why Big T is this rich? Big T is so rich. This is what he did. He went on Twitter and said, "These birds are pissing me off. I'll give $500 to anyone."
That was as rich as it gets. Yes. He literally would have got anyone responding for free.
Wait,
so I do not know how Big T did that.
What did he say he'd give?
Big T said, so he put out this tweet.
So
he said, right by his hot tub, there's this stupid bird nest, and like the birds are pooping everywhere. And he said, I'll give $500 to the person that comes up with the idea for when you get rid of this bird nest and they don't build it back. Like, what can I do? Like, what are the ways? Because you can't just knock the nest down, because apparently they build it back up the next day. That's how rich Big T is. He's giving away $500.
He's giving away $500 for someone to help him give advice on how to get rid of his bird problem.
Are you kidding me? So I agree with you, man.
Get out of here, Tony.
Big T definitely wins. When I saw that, I was like, all right.
Hashtag how rich. That's what I said.
That's too good right there. That's a winner for sure. $500. Who won? Did anyone win? Did anyone win the prize?
I saw someone comment today. I think it was Fantasy Guru Drew, because he commented on it and he said, "Do we have a verdict?" Because he was trying to get his $500, which I don't blame him. He wants to get in there.
I mean, if he gave a winner, he's got to get paid. But if it's not a winner, then he's not getting paid. And this, I'm assuming Big T's gonna test it out.
Well, yeah, he definitely was. I saw someone reply about an owl when it didn't work.
Is Big T running an underdog type promo every single time Jordan Poole misses a shot? We get $1,000 to someone on Twitter. Is there a promo being ran out there, Big T?
I'll tell you right now, that was a genius idea. Whoever came up with that one, it was a genius idea, because that was perfect. I mean, Joel Embiid won. The Tatum one won't. They know this, but that's not going to work out very well, because I'll tell you right now, I don't think Tatum's going to be bricking too many shots in the first quarter.
They also, I don't know what, what is a brick? Like, if it just hits the backboard, not like that.
I was just thinking miss. Yeah, is it a brick? Like, it has to be like an ugly shot?
It said brick. I don't know how they worded it. It wasn't like when you fall, you can say, yeah, he fell. That's a brick. It said brick in there. I don't necessarily know.
I mean, when Joel Embiid falls, everyone knows it.
That's what I mean.
Very clear and obvious.
So I don't know how they judge what a brick or not is.
That's a good point. I was just thinking miss. Like, I was just thinking like a missed jumper. Anything that's not like a layup or dunk attempt. Like, if he shoots a jumper and it misses, am I wrong?
5,000 every time. I don't think they're doing it every miss. I don't know.
How many shots could he even take in a quarter?
I think it's
in a quarter. What's he take? Like the most shots he's taken in a quarter title? 6?
I mean, I don't know. He's been totally sure. I have no clue. I have no clue what it is. I just read
That's bricks. A good question. I just assumed they were taking any jumpers he missed.
Yeah, and so was Big T and so was Mangone. So maybe I was the only one that didn't think of it like that. But we'll get back to it. Tank Stein, he has a good question. Do you guys use Saber Sim on days you do 3-entry max? Mangone did bring it up. Yeah, I think using Saber Sim, if you make one lineup, if you make 3 lineups, all of it, see what the field is doing, see what Saber Sim likes. Plug in, like, if you know you want to lock Strider, see what Strider teams look like. You can say, give me only 5-3 teams. I definitely would recommend using Saber Sim, 3-entry, 1-entry. You can, say 3-entry, build out 100 teams, and then just scroll through and see which ones stand out and pick one like that. So definitely recommend
your title, you can, there's one feature in Saber where you can pull out the player and plug in a different one instead. But one thing, I'll just do it manually. I'll look at the team and I might like everything but 2 guys. And I'll just say, hey, you know what I want to do? I want Trace Thompson on the Dodgers, at the bottom of the order, to make my Dodgers stack unique. And I'll plug him in the outfield, and then I'll go to my one-off spot and be like, oh, maybe my shortstop. Now I have 4.3K. Who's my 4.3K second baseman there? Or something like that. Like the other day, I kind of manually changed it, and I found Jace Peterson out there at 2.6K. And I said, I'll take a Jace Peterson one-off home run at no ownership. And then, boom, you hit a home run. So I try to stay close to the opto, but you can make some slight changes too. It's kind of like hand picking it rather than just building it yourself. I think it helps out a ton.
Yeah. First of all, Gavin, who called it a sauna? I will bet you any amount of money that is actually how you pronounce it. Everyone says sauna. One of the most wrong things. That's not the right word I was trying to use.
Mispronounced.
Mispronounced. Thank you, JSU. Mispronounced words there is. It's from Finnish. Grandparents were Finnish, all that. Sauna is how you do it. 379 people might have learned something new.
I used to
Big
make
T,
fun of Title for it. I will back you, Title. You were actually correct.
I know I am.
So I don't know who's correct or not. All I know is until Title said Sean, I can't even say it the way you said it. It's sauna. Until he said sauna, I've never heard anyone in my life, my life say that. Like, you know, my parents have one in their house. Like I've never heard anyone. I know plenty of people with a sauna in their house. I've never heard anyone say sauna.
Here it is on Google. It says, however, most English speakers pronounce it incorrectly. In Finnish, every syllable is pronounced and the first takes emphasis broken into, I don't even know what I'm saying, but it's sauna.
It's sauna. You're talking Finnish.
I mean, you just pulled up Google on us. I mean, shit. I guess we're wrong.
You learned it from the UP, all the way up in the UP. Grandparents are Finnish, all that. Sauna, jumping Lake Superior. I will promise you that is how you say it. But I don't care how you say it. We can get back to baseball. All I know, Big T, I'm not betting you. When it says break first quarter, break miss, I don't care. I'm taking my $3K back in MMA tomorrow. No deal on anything else. Get in that game. Next game on the slate. We got a lot to talk about. What do we got? Pittsburgh Pirates, Baltimore Orioles, Oviedo, Kyle Bradish on the mound. Another good hitting weather in this one, JSU. 80 degrees in Camden. What you like in this one?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't mind taking some bats against Oviedo. I mean, that dude sucks. He's terrible. I apologize. I think he's terrible. But Baltimore, I do like them a little bit. Pittsburgh, again, I'm not playing Bradish. You could play Pittsburgh. There's other weather spots that I kind of like a little more in general than this game overall. But I definitely lean the Baltimore side over the Pittsburgh side. You know, Baltimore, their bats are a little more expensive, or some of these guys are a little more expensive. But you know, they got Mateo, who I do like. He's kind of cooled off a little bit from his really hot start, but you know, he should get decent ownership on these guys. It's probably a spot too where I would just full stack this team. I'm not going to mini stack it. If I play Baltimore, I full stack them, but they're kind of down my list of teams. We're going to get to another game soon that I just definitely am going to be way overweight on compared to the field. So this game kind of falls below it. And I would say below Washington too, just from the standpoint that Washington's so cheap and they fit with my two favorite main stacks just better than Baltimore does, just because of the price tags and the fact that like some of the cheaper Baltimore bats are the guys that I don't want to play. Like I'm not playing Adam Frazier and I'm not playing Stowers at 2-1. Gunnar Henderson, maybe I could get to, but third base, we're going to get to some good baseman to pay up for. So I'm probably out on this team.
Mangone, what you like in this one?
Yeah, I think JSU brought up good points with Baltimore. The only problem I'm going to have with them, they're a bit pricey. So that's going to be the one thing I struggle with trying to get to them. I guess from like a mini stack perspective, like maybe a Kyle Stowers or like a Henderson, and you could pair it with one of those expensive backs like a mini. But I probably won't get the Baltimore as much today. I think there's other offenses that I kind of prefer here.
Next game on the slate, we got the Tampa Bay Rays, the New York Yankees. No one's picking on Garrett Cole. If you guys are, let me know. Even though Tampa in the past, G-Man Choi, not Big T. G-Man Choi is not in the lineup. You can't be playing Mangone. You going to any Yankees, any Tampa Bay Rays?
Surprisingly, it's an 8.5 total, right? Like it is a surprising number. And but I'm out on this one. No one wants to target the Rays, and when they do the replacement pitcher stuff, right? This is a fade for me. Way other better offenses that we're going to get to.
JSU, another good hitting weather. We like playing in New York, but I'm not. What are you doing? I'm not playing it.
No, it's tough. Like, yeah, I do think Cole gives up a bomb, but it's just like, who are you playing? Are you just gonna go for a one-off or a two-man or something like that, and then you pick the wrong one? I get Tampa though, because they've been solid, man. They've been a good team this year, but for me, I just stay away from it. I probably just won't play Cole unless I can find like a Strider Cole pairing with a team that I love, but so far haven't been able to build it yet. So I'm probably just staying off the Tampa side, and I'll probably stay off the New York side too. Yeah. Again, you're gonna have to fade some of these good weather spots, so I'll just stay away from this one.
Yeah, I mean, we have 13 games. You can't play every team. More games than not right now. More teams than not. We're going to say we're not playing unless you're playing 150 teams and you like playing 20 stacks. But nothing in that
I will
one.
say, though, Harrison Bader's been on fire. So
Yeah.
he'd be the one guy from this game. Butthole brought him up in the chat, but he's been hitting the ball really well. So if you were going to take like a one-off or someone from this game, it would probably be him at 4K. Outfield is absolutely loaded, but that is a nice price tag for him.
We'll keep it rolling. Again, we do appreciate it if you do hit that like button. And when you do, big red subscribe button. I'm here every day talking free, all sports, and all we ask from you is a like button. So we appreciate it. Atlanta Braves, Toronto Blue Jays. You guys aren't playing any Blue Jays against Strider. JSU, are you playing the Braves against Chris Bassett?
Bassett Hound. I'm not playing Atlanta. I want to play my guy, my catcher, Sean Murphy, but I think I'm just gonna wait until the next slate here, just because I do have a little respect for Bassett, even though I'm not playing him. It's kind of similar to like just staying away from the pitching and the hitting here, but Atlanta does have upside. They always do have upside. Obviously, I'm not picking on Strider, so I'm not playing any Toronto, but the games are coming. I know. I feel like I haven't talked up many offenses yet.
That's good.
I still got plenty of time.
If you don't like it, say pass. Mangone?
Yeah, I don't like Toronto, but I'll just say this. No one's playing Atlanta today. Now, Chris Bassett isn't a guy I typically want to pick on, but if the Atlanta Braves are going to be 1%, I don't just completely overlook it, right? I at least think a little bit about it. It's probably not the right slate. I wish it was one of those slates where I could get to the Braves, because I think it's hard to get to them with the offenses with the pitchers that we're looking at, because the prices on these Braves are just too expensive. The only cheap guy in the lineup at 2.8 is Eddie Rosario. So it's just going to be a little bit tougher. So probably not getting to them. But again, when the Braves are 2%, you at least got to open your ears and listen and just kind of dive in and figure out why and see if it's worth it.
Yep, absolutely. We're going to keep it rolling to the next game on the slate. I think we're going to have some interest in this one. Boston Red Sox and the St. Louis Cardinals. Adam Wainwright, James Paxton on the mound. Man, James Paxton, that is a name I haven't seen in ages. Did not know he was still around. James Paxton on the bump today. And then I'll start with you, JSU, because you're a Boston fan, but you're also a Wainwright fan. I don't think you're going to Wainwright today. You already talked about it. 11 total in Fenway. 80 degrees. It looks like a great spot on both sides. What are we doing?
I mean, first of all, I'm with you. I did a double take when I saw James Paxton was he came back from the dead. He's pitching. He's still pitching in the major leagues. How long has he been out for? Does anyone know when he last pitched?
Well, I just looked it up because I was like, what in the world? So the Yankees, I didn't even know. 2020 was on the Yankees. 2019, I remember, obviously before he was on Seattle, but yeah, he pitched one game, one inning or something this year so far, 1 1/3. Last year, hardly pitched any. So 2019 was really his last year that he was doing it. But
he's 34 years old, by the way. So 34-year-old James Paxton on the map.
I mean, I just could not believe when I saw that name.
K. Alex said 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2019.
2021.
Or 20.
Whatever. I mean, that's crazy. I can't believe he's pitching here, but this has to be I think this is the best spot by far for hitting. Boston, first of all, Fenway, just as a park, has been playing awesome for hitting, by the way, this entire year. And we haven't had a game. Maybe we've had 1 or 2 this year that have been this type of hot, but it's hot out right now. It's really nice weather here. It's hot. I think it's perfect for baseball tonight for this game. I think that both teams are really, really good stacks here. I love my guy Wainwright, but when you can throw out this many lefties, right, in this spot, I'm gonna stay away from him. He struggled his first game that he played here, 7,400. I think Boston gets to him for sure in this spot, and Paxton, I'm definitely gonna throw some bats against. So I love this, and I love the way the game stack actually fits. A game stack for me in this game is perfect because Boston does have some cheap bats, but mainly for me, if you look at it, you got Cassis, who's 2,300. He's starting to hit. And on top of that, you got Devers, Arenado at third. So you can play one of those guys, spend up. And then you got the cheap outfielders from St. Louis to pair with the expensive outfielders from Boston. It like literally fits perfectly. I love this game stack here. I think you can mix it up a few different ways. And I'm going to be high on this game and probably load it up mainly from a bats perspective so I can get my studs. I've done it where you can pay up and make it work. And Washington as a mini fits perfectly if you 5-man one of these two teams actually too. So that's another reason why I do like Washington minis, because they actually fit really well with these two teams here.
Yeah, this is my favorite game. Game stack it up. Cardinals threw 8 righties against Paxton, and on the other side, 7 lefties the Red Sox threw against Wainwright. Man, game stack, great hitting weather, Fenway. It's got everything I like, man, going. Picking on Paxton, picking on Wainwright. What are you doing?
Yeah, we're 3 for 3 here. Definitely like this game. Again, this is a game that when you kind of run the double spend up pitcher, like that's just what I can get to, right? And you can find ways to easily make it different. There's so many different ways you can build the Boston and St. Louis game stack. So I like it a lot. I'm definitely interested in it. It's good ballpark. It's hot out. Like everything just aligns for me. Get my double spend up pitcher. So I'm very much interested in this game. The question is which side to go to, right? Is Boston the better 5-man or the Cardinals? That's the thing I'm still trying to navigate and figure out, but it's my favorite spot by far. And again, what?
I was just going to say, whenever I have this question or conundrum, that's where I'm always like, okay, full game stack it is. Because I don't know the answer, honestly. I think it would be Boston, just if you made me take one side. But I honestly don't know. And if you told me it was the other way around, I wouldn't argue, right? Like, so whenever I get into those type of spots, I just feel like, why not? And then if they do fit, I mean, if you make 3 lineups tonight, and you really wanted to be over on this game, like you could easily do it. You could get Cassis in one at first base with Devers. You could get Arenado and Goldie in another with the cheap outfielders from St. Louis. Like there's ways to make both of these work where you can full game stack here and get a little bit of each of the studs with the cheap bats.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's tons of ways to build it for sure. Like, I mean, one way I think I at least noticed, and I haven't built it yet, but like, I don't like if you plug in Paul Goldschmidt, like it kind of gets tough. You know what I mean? Like when you play the double step pitchers and then you put Goldschmidt at that first base spot. I agree. I like Cassis a lot, James. You don't get me wrong. I think I might end up punting with him there, but point being is it definitely makes it a little bit more difficult when you jam in some of these expensive Cardinals for sure. Like if you jammed in an Arenado, a Contreras, and like a Goldschmidt, you have to start putting pretty quick. So people will struggle to kind of jam these guys in. And I think it's a good spot. So definitely my favorite game on the slate, no doubt. I'm going to game stack it. I'm going to see how the chips fall when I kind of run stuff in Saber and then find the best team that I like with it, right? I mean, that's kind of how I do it. So that'll be my route.
Absolutely. We'll keep it rolling. We were messing around a lot, getting chirped about Sauna, Frontier, Mangone playing on MMA and flying. A lot of fun stuff going on, but a lot of big slate. We got to get Stevie Boyton, Holden, and DC on time. So keeping it rolling. Again, appreciate the like button. Angels, Guardians, Tyler Anderson, Logan Allen on the mound. Man, going back to you. Any interest in this one?
Yeah, I don't think this is a game I like that much. Yeah, this is Angels and Guardians. Yeah, it's Guardians' offense has been terrible. You could always make the case for the Angels, but I don't need to play the Angels today. Maybe you can make the case like Hunter Renfroe is like a random one-off. The dude's been smashing the ball, or like someone like Drury, but not really dying to get to these Angels. I think it's a overall kind of a fade for me.
JSU.
Yeah, I think Mangone actually brought up the 2 guys I have the interest in, Brandon Drury and Hunter Renfroe as a mini stack. I think both those guys, 5-6 combo there for the Angels. If you want a little mini stack, I'm totally fine with it. 4,400. Hunter Renfroe's been hitting some bombs here recently, and same with Drury. So I do like them as a mini stack, but the rest of the game probably off Cleveland. So yeah, not much else besides those 2 guys.
Right back to you, JSU. Houston Astros, Chicago White Sox, JP France, Michael Kopech on the mound. Not great hitting weather, only 60 degrees. Any interest in this one?
Yeah, I'm not going here. And Houston's a team that I've been fading a lot of this season. Like, I just really haven't played much of the Houston bats outside of like a one-off or, a mini stack with the obviously the top lefties. But outside of them, like, I don't know why you playing this team. It's tough, honestly. So if you told me you wanted to pick a one-off, I'd be fine with it. But weather's not great here. We got so many good weather spots. I'm fading this game for sure.
Bazam, Logan Allen is the nut tonight. All right, I'll remember you, Bazam. If Logan Allen is the nut tonight.
If you have a take like that on this slate, definitely just go with it because he'll be low owned. It's not a great, in my opinion, for a 13-game slate. Honestly, the pitching slate is not that great for such a big slate. There's not that many like obvious spots. You're going to get him at low ownership. Like just absolutely run with that if you really believe that.
Yeah, always in DFS. If you got a gut feeling and you want it, there's nothing worse than when you have a gut feeling, someone talks you off or something, then your guy absolutely shoves or whatever happens, you kick yourself. So,
but these are the slates you're going to get him absolutely unowned, like on a massive slate too. Just the leverage, if you think he's the best play, is massive.
For sure. Mangone, Astros, White Sox, any interest?
Of course, Falix like the damn Astros. Kevin. He always does this too. Like I'll be like the worst spot of the slate, and then Kevin has to come in with, it's my favorite. I swear he does it on purpose. Like he has to do it on purpose. Just tell me you do it on purpose, K. Fallick.
I don't know. Maybe he does. I'm not super excited about the Astros. They are a team, and like Fallick is saying, like Michael Kopech is not.
Kopech's been really bad.
Yeah. So like I understand it, but I don't see myself doing it. It's definitely one of those stacks that when I ran stuff like when I told you, when I ran the Gray and Strider builds, like I did see them pop up, right? Like it wasn't like, I don't want to completely ignore it, but I assume, and I didn't look at those teams that closely, I assume it's because they have so much value, right? Like I assume it's because they have all these like cheap bottom of the order crappy guys, and I bet you they don't go Alvarez and Tucker. And you know what? I want to play Alvarez and Tucker. So I need to make sure that I do that. So if you do decide to play the Astros, make sure you at least get these good guys in the lineup. At least I'm going to say that. But I'm not excited to play the Astros personally. I'm going to move on to some other offenses.
Yeah, I just wish it was warmer. I mean, Kopech can be really bad and not find the zone. I totally get it. 60 degrees when it's 80 plus in other areas, it makes it a little tougher. But I mean, the Astros are going to be 2%. K. Fallick, as usual, 2% owned stack. Why not, K. Fallick? If you want to tell K. Fallick today, the Astros are his team. We're going to keep it rolling. Kansas City Royals.
If you want Fallick's score title, just so you know, it's normally on my 3 max stuff. So yeah, Kevin has a home. He got all upset about the core. So if you are looking for Kevin's Astro stack core tonight, check out my single entry 3 max. There's a home for you, Kevin.
Absolutely. Keeping it rolling. Kansas City Royals, Milwaukee Brewers, Josh Taylor, Corbin Burns on the mound. And as a couple people mentioned in chat, Salvador Perez was scratched. So Chalk Burns gets a little better matchup. However, I mean, it was only 2 weeks ago with Jack Flaherty got some ownership. I know it's way different, Flaherty Burns, but Trout wasn't in the lineup. I think Taylor Ward or something. The dude gets negative 85 or whatever it is. So it is a bump to Burns, but you guys don't really have much interest. Are you going to get leverage playing the Royals? I don't think it's the right slate. Mangone, you tell me, and any brew crew for you. They got a healthy 5 total.
They do have a healthy total, but it has gone down overall. It went from 8.5 to 8. So that is a little concerning. I know William Contreras has been hitting the ball pretty well. So you can make a case for him as like maybe a one-off, but I don't know. I just don't think I want to target Josh Taylor. I mean, it's fine if you want to target this Josh Taylor guy, but like, I guess I just like other offenses, right? It's like you got to make some cuts, and I don't know. They slightly miss it for me. Maybe JSU has a better take on it, but I'm probably not getting to too many Brewers.
JSU.
The only thing I would actually do in this game is I wouldn't mind, because I'm not playing Corbin Burns, taking one of these catchers from KC, honestly. And Furman actually at 2,300, just if I wanted to punt catcher and my catcher fit my stacks, don't fit my builds or something like that. I'm already spending up at pitcher, right? So I'm probably going to need to punt in a few spots. I could see myself playing it just to get a little added leverage as a one-off maybe against Mr. Burns and all that ownership.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I don't mind that at all. And Gator Nation, Adamas is cheap. Yeah, 4-4. He's usually been in the 5K, so that's a good point there. Gets the lefty. We'll keep it rolling. We got 410 watching, 150 likes. Let's get 200. I think that's a very fair number today. 200. Get you guys the plays of the day. Keeping it rolling. Chicago Cubs, Minnesota Twins, 7.5 total. Smiley, Sonny Gray on the mound. Say pass, move on. JSU, I'll start with you.
Pass.
Mangone.
7.5 total beats me. It beats me. So let's move on.
Didn't follow instructions. Didn't say pass. I appreciate it, JSU. Next
Doesn't
game on the slate. Coors Field, Philadelphia Phillies, Colorado Rockies, Taijuan Walker, Austin Gomber on the mound. 11 total. It is only 60 degrees in Coors Field, though. Mangone, it's in your backyard. Are you going to the game? I assume not. You're assuming you're going to be watching some NBA instead. Talk about this, though. Are you going to play any for DFS?
No, I'm staying inside. It's cold. I had my heat on last night. It was 47 degrees outside. It was freezing in my house. I am out on this game. This is a pass for me. Also because the ownership's too high, right? It's too high. I get it's an 11 total, but there's better spots for me. It's also the first game in Coors Field, which typically the first game does not play as great as some of the other games, right? That's just what the math says or the analytics, as the people say. But I'm likely going to pass. I don't need to get there. Sure, a Trey Turner one-off, I wouldn't argue that. If for some reason I build my expensive pitcher team and I have a lot of cheap guys and I land at 5.8K for a shortstop, I'm not going to say no to Trey Turner, but there's other guys on this. There's other plays on this slate. It's a 13-game slate, and I'm not the biggest fan of playing Coors Field. I like to fade it more times than not and kind of embrace the variance and hope for the best. So that's kind of how I'm playing it here on this slate.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't one off a Trey Turner. I mean, he's going to be popular. If you're going to stack it up, just fully stack it. I think one off a chalk guy like Turner would be a mistake. I do like how Mangone threw in that pass in there, though, on this game. JSU, Coors Field, what are you doing?
Because he got yelled at, Title.
Yeah,
he wasn't expecting to get yelled at by the host. So that's what happened. Maybe you should start yelling at people more. Yeah, you might have to start yelling. Yeah. The one issue I have in this game, so Philly's going to get ownership for sure. Colorado, I think the ownership will be lower, but also because of the price tag. I mean, they haven't been good, so it's because of that too. But the weather's not great, but it's the elevation, right? That's what it. You play Coors Field, a lot of it's the elevation, but the weather isn't super great out. It's not 80 or anything like that, right? It's a little cooler than you'd want anyways. Colorado's offense been bad, and I'm probably just gonna fade Philly. I honestly like the other weather spots just as much, so I'm fine with saying St. Louis and Boston. I'll just take my shot with them over the Philly stack and go from there. So I'm probably gonna fade Philly, and Colorado price tags are just too high for me. They are going to be lower owned. If they were cheaper, some of these guys were cheaper, I would maybe try and get a mini stack in there. But the whole lineup outside of Tovar and Castro are 4K or higher. It's I'd like to see a little bit cheaper price tags on him. Tovar's been decent. He'd be actually the only guy I'd probably consider just because he's 3K at shortstop. But I'm probably out on most of this game.
Yeah, Riley Golf Pro said wind blowing into 10 miles an hour. I will say, I think Colorado's sneaky. I always like going the opposite side of the chalky side in Coors. I'm seeing 5% ownership maybe as the stack. Prices are up there a little bit, which will keep it down. I never hate that. Of course, I love Coors Field, and I'll definitely take the ownership discount. So in tournaments, I prefer the Rockies over Phillies. Probably one of my top 4 stacks. But we'll keep it rolling. 3 games left, 200 likes is the number. San Francisco Giants, Arizona Diamondbacks, Ross Stripling, Ryan Nelson on the mound. JSU, I'll go back to you. We got a 10 total in this one. Any Giants, any D-backs for you?
Yeah, I could see myself playing. I think both sides, honestly, are fine on this slate. If I had a preference right now, I'd probably go with the Arizona side, but these guys, they're probably more like mini stack teams that I fit my main stack with, like a 3-man or something like that. But I have no issues if you want to, full stack the late game here. Gurriel's been hitting good. We'll see. Do we have a lineup? Am I missing it? Or
I don't see a lineup yet.
No lineup yet. But yeah, I mean, I definitely think you can play Arizona. I got them ahead of San Francisco, and then for San Francisco. I'd be fine with like if Blake Sable is at catchers in the lineup, I'd be fine playing him. Maybe getting like a mini stack with him and like a Wade or something like that for cheap. I'd want the cheap guys though, the cheap lefties for sure, to fit with the rest of my main stack. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Mini stacks, if anything, in these two games.
Mangone, Andrew Martinez says Jock Peterson is a one-off. Thoughts on that? Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I actually like this game a bit. The roof is open in Arizona, so that is encouraging. Obviously, the one thing I struggle with the I really want to like the Arizona side, but the one thing I struggle with is they're doing the whole like pitcher replacement stuff with Stripling, and that can be frustrating at times. And I do want to see what the lineup is. Sometimes Arizona can mess with their lineup a bit. It does feel like it's going to be better for the mini stacks, but they have enough cheap guys right at this bottom of the order, like a Pavin Smith, Moreno at catcher, Alec Thomas, who could possibly be in there. Like those guys can help fill out like a main stack with these top end guys. So I'm not completely ignoring Arizona as a 5-man, probably make more sense as the mini, and same with the Giants too. And this could be another good game stack opportunity, right? Like Wade is going to be 3.6K. Jock Peterson only 4.1. JD Davis in the 4-hole likely at 3.8. Got Kim Porto at 3.1 against the righty. He could obviously get the job done. Brandon Crawford, I always don't mind as a cheap shortstop option. They have enough guys where I think as a 5-man and a mini stack, I think they make a lot of sense as either the value saver or a nice 5-man to help you kind of get these big pitchers. So I like this game a lot. It's got a 10 total. I think more ownership is on the San Francisco side than the Arizona side, which has me kind of interested in Arizona a little bit, but I am being cautious with it. I want to see what that lineup is going to be. I want to kind of, once I get the lineup, look and see what Arizona stacks look like and see if I'm getting any in Saber and then go from there. But I really want to get that lineup.
Yeah, the longer the lineup's not out, the lower the ownership is. And really outside of Philly on this 13-game slate, so many teams. If you have a stance on a team, I say you 5-man stack it. Again, I think Phillies get the most ownership, kind of spread out after that. 2 games left, and then we got DC, Holden, Stevie Boyton coming up at lock. That is a premium show. You do have to be a member. Mangone 15 gets you 15% off. Head over to Run Pure Sports. Make sure you do get in the Discord as well. NBA stuff's up. MMA's up. Snyder will have golf up. NASCAR this weekend. A lot of money to be made. No better time to join. Head over to Run Pure Sports. Mangone 15% off. See DC, Boyton, AP's core. AP's been hot. All up on the site already for baseball. 2 games left. Not sure how long it'll take. Mangone, Texas Rangers, Oakland Athletics, Martin Perez, Ken Waldichuk on the mound. Any interest in Oakland?
No interest in this game. I mean, maybe I'd make the case. Mr. Rooker's been crushing ever since we talked about him on a show once, but like maybe him or Ruiz is like a one-off. That's it. I don't need to play this game.
If it beats me, it beats me. I agree. JSU, what about you?
For this game, the only interest I'd have would be Texas for sure, just because I'm on the other side with the pitcher, so I'm not on any Oakland. There are a few cheap bats in this lineup. I could definitely Duran at shortstop. He's been pretty solid this year. He's 2,800. I think Texas has like some cheap enough guys where I could I like Tavares against the lefty. I could play him. I think I could stack Texas, honestly. The only reason why I won't full stack them is probably just because of the ballpark. But going up against Oakland, you get into that bullpen. We've been seeing it. So, I think Texas is definitely in play for sure. It's more just the hitting weather is not as great as some of these other spots. So that's probably why I won't full stack them. But again, they fit for mini stacks.
I do think Waldichuk does get a little ownership too. So I take that. I like Texas a little more than I initially thought. Guaranteed 9th inning at bat, a little leverage off of Waldichuk. Pretty decent team total and going to be low owned. Hopefully that lineup's not out for a little bit. So
the other guy too, Josh Jung at third base. I knew I was forgetting someone. 3,900. They've got a few solid price tags on this team, and I obviously wait until we get the lineup out. But you got a good hitting catcher in Heim that probably be in there. You get Nate Lowe, who Stevie Boyton will talk about. He can hit lefties. He's really good against lefties. So if you want to hear that, you can stay tuned for the next show coming up. But yeah, the more I look at it, the more I think Texas is, pretty solid team if you wanted the late stack.
Yeah. Last game on the site, we do a quick question. Paul, what do you make of Clark Schmidt? Is he a must play? Definitely no must plays in baseball. He said Schmidt or DeYoung. How I answer all 1v1s in baseball really is, do you like the Cardinals more or do you like San Fran more? And throw whoever it is in there. If it's a one-off, I'd probably go DeYoung just because I like the Cardinals more. But yeah, definitely no one-off or definitely no must in baseball, that's for sure. One game left on the slate. San Diego Padres, Los Angeles Dodgers. Blake Snell, Dustin May on the mound. Mangone, I'll start with you. I mean, Blake Snell, and then you look at the Dodgers, a 5 total, little higher than normal, but definitely makes sense. Good offense. Blake Snell, he can struggle a little bit. He can't get blown up. Going to any Dodgers tonight.
Yeah, before I talk about that, I need to address Donnie. He says Crawford's on the IL. Crawford's supposed to return this series, Donnie, so do your research, okay? He's supposed to return. If he doesn't return, my apologies, but he's projected to return tonight. So
if he doesn't return, Donnie, you let him know next show. Say, Mangone, I told you.
Let me know. Get in there. But right now, I'm projecting him as in. It's what it says on the little, DK report. So he's supposed to.
Mangone's a grinder. You better get worried if you're trying to grind with Mangone because he will grind.
That's true. That's why I get worried about JSU. That's why when that golf bet got on the table, I was like, I know JSU is working hard. I don't know if I agree with this one. I don't know if I want to get in there. So, but. And to Griff, it's not me being angry. It's what if I said that you were doing something wrong at your job and then you had the actual answer? You know what I'm saying? To Griff, I'm just saying, that's all. I'd like to step into your office and challenge you and see what you have.
What are you saying about these Dodgers or Padres?
I would say it might be the wrong slate for me. Like, I just don't need to go to the Dodgers today. Although the one thing they do have, I will call this out. Like, one thing I like about this Dodgers order is, like, I don't mind Chris Taylor, Vargas, Thompson, and, like, Rojas at this bottom. And it does help you get, like, a nice 5-man or helps you get a nice mini stack. Like, maybe you do, like, a Freddie Freeman or, like, a Mookie Betts with a Trace Thompson or a Miguel Rojas. And I don't know, maybe Trace Thompson doesn't even play this game because maybe he's watching his brother play in Staples Center tonight. Who knows? But we'll have to see. I don't want you guys to get on me if Trace Thompson happens to be at the game watching his brother try to close it out. But overall, I do think the Dodgers, they're probably not going to make that list for me, right? When we go through the stacks here, they're probably just not going to make the cut.
Whoever asked for Reggie earlier, you get a little Reggie appearance in the back left behind JSU. So whoever asked, he did listen. JSU, any Dodgers, any Padres.
That's right. Reggie's right here. Best dog. It's the only dog that Big T actually likes too. True story.
I don't think he likes it.
There. But I don't think he likes me.
Big T likes Reggie in your house, he said, right? Not his house.
He likes him because, what do you say? He goes, I don't pet it. He knows. He sits over there. I sit over there. I'm on my business. That'll be the funniest thing.
The funniest part? The funniest part would be Big T comes into my house. Reggie would literally be all over him. And he wouldn't stop. Like, the one thing about Reg, he will just stay on you. He'll make you pet him. He'll nose bump you if you're not doing anything. He'll give you the paw, and he'll sit upright on the couch, Title. So if Tony sits on the couch, he'll sit upright next to him, and he'll just literally drop his paw or just throw his head right on his chest or his hand and just sit there and stare at him. So, like, that's the best part about him. He tries to be like a actual human sitting upright, and he'll just fuck with Big T the whole time. So we'll see. I'll have to put out some videos when Big T finally comes down here and visits. Hopefully in the summer, he's supposed to, but who knows? This game though, I don't really like anything. I mean, Vargas is cheap. He's been hitting. He's 2,900. I don't know, though. I don't know why. I'm probably not going to pick a one-off from this game, though. You got two, solid pitchers. They might give up a little bit, but it doesn't seem like a game where I want to try and pick out who it's going to be.
I like it. That is all 13 games. A lot to talk about. We are going to get you the plays of the day. I'm being too nice. You guys didn't get 200. I'll get you the plays of the day, though.
Title, you were hard on Mangone, and then you go easy on everyone else? That doesn't seem right.
I was just going to say, that's because Johnny AirPods, LG right here, the play of the day, we don't get to see this very often on the free show. So I couldn't say no to the plays of the day. We do appreciate that like button, though. That's fair, right, Mangone?
Yeah, I'm with you. I want the LG play of the day. We need
the LG play of the day. Look at that graphic. Little guy.
I'll just say right now, if I'm going to be that little, can I at least get some bigger pythons? I mean, come on, at least get that right.
You got the pythons right above you.
That's true title. That's true title. But I'm just saying, if we're gonna, put me down like that with my height, then at least give me something to show off for the female after I push them up a few times. I'm just saying, I'm critiquing the graphic. But
maybe if you pick a winner right here, you'll get some bigger muscles for the next one.
I mean, yeah, that's the goal. Butthole said great form. I'll tell you right now, I got pretty good form when gym. A lot of things. I got some decent form, so I'm just throwing it out there, okay? Workbench also. Lady can attest to it, but she's not here right now, so just take my word for it. Play of the day, going to the Boston game, 2,300. Tristan Cassis hits a bomb here in the 6th hole for Boston. I like Mr. Cassis to go yard for Boston. 2,300. Get you a nice cheap player with your 2 stud pitchers.
I like it. I will take G. Risen's spot. I will be the up in the smoke play of the day tonight. I like that, G. Risen. Chilling, having a good night. I'm going to pick a winner, hopefully, for you. I'm going to the same spot. I'm going to Boston. Spend up a little more. Going to the third base. Rafael Devers in the 4-hole. Think people are just going to go to Philly, whether it's Sosa, whether it's Alec Boehm. Think Devers comes in pretty low owned. Think he goes yard tonight against Adam Wainwright. Little 4-6 mini stack right there. Rafael Devers, the SO play of the day. Mangone, maybe you're going to slide in that 5-hole. Maybe you're going to go somewhere else. The ping pong play of the day. Mangone, cap it off for us.
It is funny. I was debating where to go, and it was Mr. Duran. So I didn't plan it. It didn't say, hey, I'm going to slide it in on purpose for the show. I picked Duran, and then when I heard you say I'm going a little bit up from Casas, I was like, don't you dare, title. Don't you dare take Mr. Duran. So that's my guy. I'm going Jarren Duran at 4K. Adam Wainwright's going to struggle with these lefties. They're going to get the job done. So we'll take the 4, 5, 6. We did it once with JT. Listen, it didn't get it fully home, but they did solid that day. It wasn't bad. It was
they were like 2% owned, the Nationals, one of the lowest owned teams. They did their job that night.
Yeah, they got the job. Listen, it wasn't like one of those like, the slate's over, printer, but it got the job done. This is the one we're going to all these lefties are going to mash, or we're going to take this thing home title.
We're going to go back to back to back. Fun show. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Hit that like, hit that subscribe on the way back. Head over to the live show chat in the Discord. Get all your questions in. DC, Steve Boynton, Holden taking you up to lock. Hopefully you guys have a great Friday night. Hopefully you guys have a great weekend. Mangone 15% off. Head to Run Pure Sports. Get some RPS logos up top this weekend. Have a great weekend, guys. For JSU, Mangone, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.